Hello. Hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Hello. Just hello. Anyways, it's cold, it's rainy, it's gonna be cold and rainy today and tomorrow. I'm indoors. I gotta make sure my windows are shut more. I gotta turn the heat on too, because it's actually kind of very chilly coming from those windows. I need to make sure that the windows are actually shut and I can actually turn on the heat. But I don't want to get sick because it's cold and rainy out there. But um, I'm doing all right. I'm gonna be doing a little bit better as soon as like my workers come back to work, and it's said that all of them didn't have COVID, and it's just because they got sick, and because they got sick, they have to quarantine for like 10 days or so. So that's basically what it is. If you because it's a new thing with the agency. If you get sick, if you got sick, if you're around people who are sick, you got to quarantine for 10 days. So. Or something like that. They're taking it very seriously right now with the COVID thing and stuff like that. So, apparently, my mental health worker, my case manager, was quarantining for 10 days. He actually was out and he was out sick, but he wasn't out like sick. I guess he was sick, but he wasn't over the top like dying from the flu or nothing. But and of course, my mentor's out sick too. I mean, I missed meeting with him last week because I was supposed to meet with him last week. I'm glad I didn't though, because it allowed me to do money for other things and to treat myself and to do other things. But I was supposed to meet with him last week, and that got canceled. So I'm glad in a way, because now I'm not going to meet with him this week. I might meet with him the first week of the first week of the first week of November. I don't know. I mean, I might, but now that my worker's back, things are going to go a lot smoother because I have a good working relationship with my new worker, and we seem to work eye to eye, and we seem to get along. We seem to be able to knock out things, especially when it comes to like the paperwork and stuff. We've been known to be able to knock out things and get things done and get the paperwork in there and not really goof around or play around with it. But I'm just kind of in this mood though. Like I've been kind of in my headspace where I don't know what to do. I just can't really fully relax. It's just all the stuff that's going on with my adopted grandmother too, which is affecting me with like the neighbors and stuff. So I can't, even on rainy days like this, like today and stuff, and like if it snowed, I mean, all winter I'm going to be stuck up in my apartment unless my mentor calls me for a ride to go somewhere to the store or something. I'm going to be all winter. I'll probably be stuck up in my apartment because the way the things are going with the neighbors, it's like I can't go down to our community room or nothing to risk having a social problem. So I'm kind of disappointed, and I'm kind of having high anxieties about that with my mental health and stuff. But there's just a lot of other things going around this week that have given me high anxieties and different things of trying to cope with and stuff. I mean, I've spoken on some of it. There was that whole thing where I had my mind kind of set on this one person that I thought this one person was going to be really a really good friend, and we were really going to evolve as really good friends and evolve in a way that I thought was going to be really beneficial and really good to my life. But turns out that in their life they just don't have a lot of time for me right now. I mean, they are doing other things to flirt with other people, which kind of actually could be a huge red flag. See all these posts about red flags and people with red flags, but that can be a huge red flag because, they're over there flirting and giving the attention to other people, but yet they have no time for me, or they have no time to talk to me about whatever it is, or, give me the attention and the time. So it's like, I'm just not worthy, and I'm just not the one. But I'm just taking my attention elsewhere. But at the same time, I've really had to deal with that because that was a huge disappointment to my face and to everything I was hoping to stand for with that relationship. So, I mean, granted, they're still in my life because they're still an artist and they're still a publisher and they're still somebody I'm going to work with as an artist. But as far as like friendship or any type of anything other than friendship, it's just not going to happen. Can't even happen as friendship basically, barely, because we barely can get a really good, really good, things intact to have a really good relationship as friends. I was thinking this was going to be a really good friend, and it's like, we're going to be friends. I mean, of course we're going to be friends, but we're not going to be as good as friends, or as good of a relationship as friends if this necessarily continues. And we're obviously not, because she just told me to my face that she just doesn't have a lot of time to keep up with the friendship and, stuff like that. So, it was a big slap in the face, but here I was worried a little bit too of what she would think when it came to me, flirting with other women, and me possibly being kind of like a tot and a totish, and stuff like that, because I wanted to go flirt with other women, and I wanted to kind of just mess around for a while, and yet I was wondering, oh, what will she think of me, because I want to go mess around and not really give a fuck and do what I need to do and do myself, um, and just, I don't know. And then she's over there doing herself and pretty much doing almost the same thing. I'm not really necessarily calling her a top, but she's kind of still doing those like behaviors, or entertaining those behaviors. But it's kind of like that thing that there's obviously some other person that's going to come into her life that she's probably going to entertain. I'm not worth the time. So, but it is what it is. It is what it is, because it might just be a karmatic relationship. I don't want to say karmatic relationship. I don't want to lose another person because of karma and because of the lessons of my life that I'm supposed to learn. Otherwise, I'm going to, experience bad karma and possibly lose the relationship and stuff like that. But, I know what that person is. I know what that person was brought to my life for. I mean, did I want that person to, be that particular thing to my life? No. I mean, I still don't want that person to. Obviously, I'm trying to change the karma and change the script, but it's very hard to do if I'm getting the same results, which I have been. But yeah, I'm very kind of frustrated. I mean, I was talking to my counselor over on the phone this Monday, and I gave him like an earful. I don't even remember everything I said. It kind of just poured out of me, and I was kind of just talking and talking and talking, to the point that I don't even know what I said. I even know for the fact that even after my counseling session on this past Monday, which was yesterday, I actually crawled back into bed and went to sleep for 2-3 hours afterwards, because I was so exhausted. So I went to sleep for 2-3 hours afterwards, not even realizing what the hell I said or nothing, I am almost due for a medical shot. It's about probably 7 to 10 days away. Oh no, maybe less than that. It's probably next Monday. Probably even less than 10 days away. It's like probably next Monday is the day that I'm supposed to be due for my medical shot. But obviously next Monday is probably a good day to really kind of have some fun too, because I don't know. I might want to see if I might talk to my worker, because I might have my worker just pick me up from the Halloween store. I might already be ready to go, and I might just have my worker pick me up from the Halloween store on that Monday if I'm supposed to be due for my medical shot. I mean, I'll have money maybe if I can like budget my money a little bit or something, I could probably, get myself through a drive-through or something for lunch, and not have to worry about like having to cook lunch or something. Because sometimes when I get that damn medical shot, I can't function properly. It needs like a couple days for me to, kind of function. I'm not functioning properly now, and I don't know why it is. It's like worse than the previous months. I'm just like, I'm not functioning properly. I'm angry. I'm stressed. I feel more irritable. I feel more edged. So. Some people say I'm yelling at everybody. I don't mean to yell at everybody, but some people are saying I'm yelling at everybody. Some people have gone to me and said, "You're yelling at everybody," so. I've yelled, it's true, I probably yelled at a couple people already. I didn't really mean to, like, yell, but I don't know, I'm kind of screaming inside. I don't know if you've ever experienced that moment where you're like screaming inside and you want the world to hear you, but you're like screaming inside and you just don't know how to explain it. Like, I'm screaming inside. I really am screaming inside. I'm trying to be as calm as fuck right now with everything that's going on, and with all this, like, stuff I have to do, and all this chaotic stuff without the outside of my life and stuff like that. But I'm screaming inside right now. I don't know why, but I'm, like, fucking screaming inside. I just really am like, what the fuck, yo, you know? But, anyways, I'm doing all right though. I'm doing all right. Besides, like my emotional kind of shit that I thought I was going to be able to work out in therapy this past Monday, but I think it's a lot more than that. I think it has to do with some of the atmosphere and some of the other things that I just really got to learn to cope with, and cope with the feelings and the outcomes, because some things have already had outcomes, some things might have outcomes in the future, but I've already learned that, I can't speak for certain things, and certain things are just going to be the way that they are. So but I'm kind of at this point where I'm just thinking to myself, like, I got so much fucking on my chest, it's not funny, And Twitter gets boring after a while. Twitter gets very boring after a while. I did just find out about something that was actually rumored about 9 months ago, which I thought was interesting. But it features somebody who was obviously supposedly jailbait, and it's kind of like, well, not necessarily. Well, for me they're jailbait, but for that person, the person that was actually involved in it, that they weren't jailbait to them. But it was weird. It was like somebody said, Sky Jackson had like a video out where she got exposed, or something happened, or something got leaked, and when, and Sky Jackson was like with a 16-year-old guy, and she's like 18, 20, and she's like with a 16-year-old dude, and they're, it's like, it's like, I don't know what's going on with, like, the internet these days, or, with celebrities, but, people think that's funny, like, oh, we're gonna leak your sex video, and, I don't know, it's just like, and then all these people are gonna talk like crazy about Sky Jackson now, like she's a little, hey, a lot of celebrities have sex videos. I mean, they're all the talk of the town, and some celebrities just don't give a fuck, So, but, I don't know. Sky Jackson's legal, though. Sky Jackson's legal to do any type of video she wants to do. I mean, the person in the video, no, he's probably not legal. I mean, he might be legal to California depending on their legal age of consent, but I mean, I don't think 16 is legal in Connecticut, or in other places to for stuff like that, especially to make videos and stuff like that. I don't think that's legal. I think that's a big problem, but Sky Jackson's probably going to get into a lot of trouble. So, anyways, I'm at this point though where I'm just kind of like chilling. I'm trying to chill. I mean, it's the fall. I mean, it's only like a few more months until winter. I'm probably having crazy anxieties too, because I want to get some stuff done. I want to get some shopping and stuff done. I want to start getting my shopping and stuff done, especially because I haven't started any of my Christmas shopping yet. I mean, I've started some other stuff, but I haven't done any of my actual Christmas shopping, or doing the things that I needed to do, because I haven't had the money. I'm waiting on something, my renter's rebate, my renter's rebate deposit, because once I get my renter's rebate deposit, it usually gives me the extra money, which I've used towards, like, multiple years. I've used it towards, like, my holiday. I've sometimes used it to support the other local artists. I've used it to support myself. I've gotten new hats. I've actually got this hat. This hat was actually a renter's rebate buy. I actually got this through renter's rebate, I had extra money and I bought this hat. And then I just threw the goggles on this hat recently, because I have another hat that came with these goggles. So I just threw the goggles on the hat. You can actually see that underneath there's a band. And that band actually is the original band for the hat. But, I'm just like at this point where, I'm just at this point where it's just like, things are crazy. Things are crazy. I'm feeling kind of just, I don't think, I mean, I wasn't feeling like this at first, but this kind of came about within the last week or two, and I think some of it just had to do with, like, people being out, people being out sick, and me trying to get my needs met, and people really not being able to fulfill my needs and fulfill what I need to be able to get done for, like, my mental health and stuff like that. So, now that my worker's back, I am going to have to tell him a couple other things. I got to remind myself tomorrow that I'm like, look, this I needed to do this, and this. It's like, but I don't know. I'm really frustrated. I'm like so freaking frustrated. It's not funny, but um, you know, um, but yeah, um. Sometimes I'm at a loss for words. I'm at a loss for words. It's just like word vomit of loss for words. It's just like dead silence. I don't know. I mean, I've said a lot already, and I guess this is what I could say, and kind of just leave it here because I don't know if I can say any more or say what I'm feeling or what's going on because I don't even know what's going on. I just know that as time progresses and I go through change and things, it's like I feel the different changes of change. I feel how it affects me. I feel how it affects me in my relationships and different things like that. So, of course, keep in mind too. I'm no longer trying to. I might post occasionally, and I still have some of the albums of his, but I'm not trying to get too much into listening to Joseph Arthur. I've kind of decided to really cut myself off from Joseph Arthur, which it was for a while there. It's going to be a very hard thing to kind of do because at the same time I can kind of still have that mindset where it needs to be done, but I've been so used to like posting Joseph Arthur like constantly for as multiple times because he was a big prominent part of my life for so long, and it's like since I've lost the connection of him as an influence and stuff because he wanted to go Republican and vote for all the racists and stuff like that. I haven't really wanted to vote. I haven't really wanted to even really kind of associate with Joe. Joe's also had Joe also found a relationship. He also has a kid. He's doing great things. He's doing great things on his own for his own life. It has nothing to do with me. I don't really care about it. I have to do my own great things and my own things for my life. But, I will say though that, I think Joseph Arthur is supposed to be coming out with another 2-3 albums. Will I get those albums while I listen to them? I don't know. I might wait until I hit YouTube. And I'm only going to say, I might wait until I hit YouTube because I want to be able to hear them through YouTube before I end up making my decision. And I want to say that because some albums reflect, things that were going on in his life, but a couple albums or a couple actual songs. I know there's like 1 or 2 songs per se that I actually kind of have to question being kind of like a diss, kind of like a diss track. I think he had like one album where he made a diss track about me, where he was so bold to make like a diss track and put me down and put my mental health down and put like my mental health struggles down and stuff like that because I wanted to be so inspired by him and stuff like that, and he just thought I was an idiot child. And he was saying, "Oh well, good for you. It's been a while since you've had been feeling like you were having a mental health problem and stuff like that, But calling me a junkie when he's a fucking junkie himself, but I'm not the alcoholic. I'm not the one. I'm not the drug addict. I might struggle with my mental health, which is kind of a unfortunate natural reoccurrence. It's not, I'm not like the junkie, like the drug addict or the drunk, but, I'll say that now. I don't give a fuck, I mean, they spared me. I mean, Joseph Arthur spared me one time from a misunderstanding where he probably could have sent me to jail, but that was a misunderstanding between us because that's kind of what really should have ended our friendship because. Well, it did end our friendship, but it didn't actually quite end the connection. But it basically was something that over somebody who wanted to get involved, which, obviously, with any rock star, with any celebrity and stuff, there's always some type of female, there's always some type of relationship drama that's gonna, like, tear up your career or try to make you kind of, tear up your connections and stuff like that. But, granted, there was somebody who, like, a female who came into my life between me and Joseph Arthur and kind of created this rift, but had helped me create this rift, especially when I wasn't doing too well with my mental health and stuff. And to her, I'm just fucking crazy. To this fucking bitch who's a fucking Canadian, I don't know what the whole Canadian swear word is, but yeah. Anyways. I'm letting things go. I really am letting things go because I for a while there, I was really inspired by Joseph. I mean, even despite the problems, I've tried to really be inspired by Joseph, but Joseph really, I don't know, Joseph really is kind of going places that I don't agree with and I don't really like. So, my mom is struggling. My mom is actually struggling with on her end. Thing is, I always talked about, if things got really bad, I could move in with my mother, and that's true. My mother said I could always move in with her. I mean, I would have to pay the rent and stuff, and I'd always have to make sure I have some type of income coming in to pay the rent and stuff. But, or to help pay my part of the rent and my part of the cable. But, she said I wouldn't be paying a full bill of cable, but I would pay half of the cable and I would pay, like, the rent, I think my mom would pay the utilities, but, that's if I had to move in with my mother, but I have said it more than once, I can't move in with my mother because she's very unaccepting of my life as an adult, As an adult, I watch adult entertainment. As an adult, I'm more spiritual based, which means I have tarot cards and things that, conservative Christians might consider witchcraft, which to her beliefs as a conservative Christian are wrong. So I can't necessarily go to my mother and say, hey, Mom, can I just move in with you and save myself some time there? So, I've been thinking about that, though. I've been thinking about, like, maybe just a change of atmosphere and a change of scenery and stuff and trying to maybe get rid of, like, some of the stuff I'm not using and stuff and try to pack up what I do want to keep and then maybe just move myself to my mother's house and move myself back to my hometown or my original hometown. But my original hometown was very much like my my experience here with some people, where people wanted to call me out for being this, or that way and this way, and some people want to bully and cause this drama and want to try to bring me down and try to do things behind my back and spit in my face, smile in my face, and kind of spit in my face and say, oh, we're your friends, or we were your friends, ha ha ha, or, whatever they want to say. But, I've dealt with the bullying before. It's like a very similar situation to childhood as what I've experienced here in Torrington. But I've come to terms, like fuck them, fuck them, fuck everybody, fuck them, just fuck them, fuck them, fuck them. That's where I'm at right now. Like fuck them, big middle fingers to the sky, fuck them, But, it's like if the people want to bully you and try to instigate you and bring you down, fuck them. Fuck them. But, I'm just at this point right now where I'm just like, whatever. I'm like, whatever. I'm kind of like functioning, but my soul is tired. I think that's what the best way to explain it. My soul is tired. My body and my soul is tired, but my spirit is trying to keep going forward. My body is kind of having a lot of problems. I mean, I've had my acid reflux today. I mean, I just basically walked across the street and back home in the rain and the wind, and I was actually huffing and puffing, I was huffing and puffing with my breathing and stuff where I was almost ready to pass out just walking across the street to grab simple papers from my landlord so I can actually get some stuff in order for Social Security. But I'm just at this point like, what the fuck, yo? I'm just at this point like, what the fuck, I mean, there are good things about it. I mean, I still have supposedly friends. I'm going to quote friends with like quotations because the word friends sometimes needs to be taken lightly. I mean, I supposedly have friends, but I'm at this point now in my life where I'm just thinking to myself like, there's people out there who are going to be true friends, and there's people out there who are going to just be backstabbers and bullshitters. I mean, there's always going to be some bullshitter to your face, smiling and acting like they actually care when they actually don't, They're doing the opposite behind your back. So, and it's been that way for months. It's been, actually not even months, it's been that way for the last 5 years. And that's only because of, I'll say it openly, the state of Connecticut moved all the people. Well, I was here first. I was here for about 4 or 5 years, or almost like 9 years before. But they moved some of the other people they knew I had issues with into the building. They said, well, it's their right to have housing, it's their right to have a place to live and have a place to stay. But they moved some of those exact same people who I've had those issues with, that I had to walk away from certain situations and certain programs from, into the same building. So a lot of the bullshit is still not solved. It's still going on. It's still kind of going on in a way where people might not always have to witness it because it's going right on. It's going right on the property. So, but things are just I don't know, but. But that's just some more of what I'm feeling. And I'm not talking to my adopted grandmother again. Alright, I gotta stop calling her a fucking adopted grandmother. What the fuck is wrong with me? Okay, I'm my neighbor. I gotta stop talking to my neighbor again, because my neighbor and I are not going back to the way things were. Because of the way things are, me and my adopted grandmother or my neighbor are not going back to the way things were. And I'm making that final decision. I mean, she made her decision not to talk to me again and stuff like that. And granted, I mean, who knows at this point in time, but she might end up, having like another stroke or something. Who knows? My neighbor kind of said to me, who knows that, sometimes people have like a little mini stroke, and then sometimes they have a bigger stroke a couple of weeks later, So, because my adopted grandmother and my neighbor had a little mini stroke shortly after we stopped talking and we started fighting. So, and I knew that, but it's not really gonna weigh on my conscience or nothing, because it's not really my fault. She's older, but doesn't mean she's not, she doesn't have a mouth on her. She doesn't know how to, kind of create this drama situations just for being older. I mean, it's like, people give people the benefit of the doubt that, because you're an older lady, you can't necessarily just be all the drama and stuff like that. The younger one's got to be more of the drama because you're an older lady and you're older, and people should be treating you with more respect. And doesn't mean that she treats people with respect. Doesn't mean she treats people the same. But she didn't treat me like shit. Whatever, I can't keep continuing talking about this. I gotta get offline because I'm really just at this point where I'm just like, what the fuck? But I got plans for Halloween. I'll just say that really quick. I got plans for Halloween. My plans are basically to watch the Joker on set 7 o'clock on Halloween on TNT. The Joker is gonna be on TV. I haven't seen that yet. I hear people got mixed reviews, and some people walked out of the theater because they didn't really like the portrayal of the Joker, or what he had to what he had to experience and stuff like that, and what the whole situation was going on with that. But but yeah, the Joker's on Sunday at 7. So what I'm gonna try to do is probably I'm gonna order some food. I'll probably order some. I might even order some food around lunchtime and just save the food I have, because if I can get it around lunchtime, it will be cheaper. You know, I can spend less money around lunchtime and it will be cheaper. Granted that you know, the prices are going up. That's what, the inflation and the prices are going up. I mean, I just got my cable bill for next month, probably about a couple of weeks ago, and they decided that my cable bill was going up like 10 to $15. My cable bill has decided was going to go up to, without really even consulting with me and stuff. They said, "Oh well, we had to adjust your cable bill due to such and such after we just told you about this price." But then they're like, "Oh, we had to adjust the cable bill to this price because cable's going up, but we gotta be fair," and stuff like that. So, I'm instead of paying like $137 or $140, I'm paying like $155. So, but that's for my cable, internet, and TV. I still think that's still kind of cheap in a way. I mean, compared to having the package, but I don't even really use my home phone. I got a home phone and I don't even use it. I got a landline that just sits here, and I don't even use the damn thing. I mean, I use my cable and I use my TV. I use my cable and I use my internet, but and I read a book occasionally. I actually kind of stopped reading books a little bit because some of where the effort was coming from was to connect with somebody more, and I think I'm going to really kind of stop that a little bit more, because I wanted to make an effort to connect with somebody more, but that was the same person that basically told me they don't really have time to be in my life or time to really interact with me too much. So I'm not really going to, I'm kind of at that point where I'm going to just try to maybe read less, and I'm not pressure myself to read all these books at once. And I'll read books because I got books and I got tons to read, but it's just I don't want to pressure myself to feel some type of way about reading or about doing this and this for these type of reasons. If that's because part of that connection, and the reading factor was actually kind of like a bonus about reading, that I would have somebody to connect with, and somebody to connect with as far as what we read and what the poetry that we read and stuff like that. But it's just not there anymore. It's just not. She chose to tell me that she doesn't have time. But yeah. I'm going though. I'm going. My mom's probably laying down and chilling. I might turn on the TV. What is it? 5 o'clock? Yeah, it's TV time at this point. But I really almost don't want to say anything. I mean, I'm saying a lot right now, but I almost really don't want to say anything because I just see myself. I see my agitation, my agitated nerves get so through the roof every time I try to express myself and talk. I clench up. I clench up in agitation. It's very hard to explain, but I'm really, really that fucking stressed. But, anyways, I am gonna get offline. Peace.